Good evening, everybody. Happy Labor Day. I hope that it's been a day without much labor. Let me get this up and going. I wasn't 100% on if I was actually going to do the stream tonight. Thankfully, we were able to make it happen. I'm gonna go in here. I've got to edit some of this. I don't know why my Facebook stream keeps doing this every time I go live. I'm gonna have to fix that. Yes, Connor, it is me. Hello, hello. Did you do anything fun for the day? So actually we didn't cook. This weekend I did put a pork butt on the smoker and that came out great. Enjoyed that. Today we actually went out to an area. We got some plants that we brought back. We're going to, pot. It's like these money trees like this right here. So went out there, collected some, and enjoyed the day. Went to the boathouse, had a burger, and now we've been back here just kind of hanging out. And as our friends left, I said, "All right, great, timed it perfect. I want to get on do the stream, talk a little bit about real estate and projects, and then we're going to keep it moving." So I hope that you had a great day too, bud. While I was on today, I wanted to talk about a few different deals kind of in the pipeline and some situations that, that might help people with borrowing money. It's really interesting to watch some of the investors whenever they connect the dots about fees on private money and hard money lending that they're like, oh wow, I can actually do this. This is very achievable. Most people, whenever they hear about an interest rate, they hinge everything around the interest rate on a deal. And what I tell people is it's not necessarily the interest rate, it's how good are your margins. So let's break something down. In hard money lending, the standard rate right now for what's going out is going to be 12% APR plus points. The the APR is where a lot of people get hung up. They start saying, "What? I'm going to pay 12% on this?" So once I break it down, no, once I actually break down the numbers, not the dance, then they start to understand that in a fix and flip, your standard project should take no more than a few months to rehab the property. And then it should take no more than a few months to sell said property. So what is that? That's going to be 6 months. Well, if you are paying 12% APR, which is going to be 1% a month, interest only payments. So if you borrow $100,000, you're paying $1,000 a month in interest only. And you complete and sell your project in 6 months. How much did you pay? Quick math. You paid 6%. That's right. Now, that means that if you can complete that project, go ahead and roll it over. Let's do another loan together. And now you do another 6% plus your points. Whenever you run the numbers on that versus 12% APR and you're factoring in a lot of these holds, you find that it's a lot more achievable than you would think. And your numbers are easier to hit than you think. So whenever you go out and you're looking to borrow money or you're running the cost of money, then keep that in mind. I've got one loan right now. I was approached the other day for a transactional loan. And under this loan, they actually, instead of transactional, which is going to be the 1 day loan where it's typically 2% plus a processing fee, we're going to be funding it for 30 days. Now, transactionally, whenever you do that, you are going to roll over into a longer term hard money loan after so many days. What we're doing is we're setting a 30-day loan, prepaid interest, and in 30 days, if they don't complete the transaction, then it'll roll immediately into a 6 month or 5 month hard money fix and flip loan. There are so many ways to make this happen because the person that's buying this property is they have it under for a great deal. They're selling it to an end buyer, so they need that double close. And the end buyer is actually purchasing with a loan. So they're going through the qualification process, getting all that done. And I even told this person, I said, send them to me. I can fund them on the hard money loan, and it's easy enough to do. Either way, they were already, I think, 2 weeks in with the bank. So the bank's still going to be another 30 days before they close. And it is what it is. It's okay because I'm still going to make my money. The client, they're going to make their money. And the flipper, they're going to make their profit. That's one thing that I feel like a lot of people focus on or need to focus on when they're doing their investments. Is it a win win, right? If it's a win loss, why do it? So I would encourage you, even if you're watching this, 5 years from now, make the deal a win-win. And if it's not, walk. Because ultimately, if you do a deal and somebody leaves there feeling salty or feeling like I got taken advantage of, or this happened, or that, well, it's just not good business. Now, that being said, that doesn't mean that through somebody's lack of effort do some deals go bad. I've got people that have borrowed money before that, technically, while I've never had a foreclosure, I have had default, right? There's two different things in private money lending and hard money lending or any lending, to where technically, if somebody is a day late on the payment, that is a default. So I've had plenty of defaults over the 100 plus loans that I've done with private money. I've never had to foreclose on a property. We've had some stuff come close. I'm not going to lie about that. However, I also make a point to underwrite my deals so conservatively that if somebody goes and messes up, we can take the project, we can complete it, and we can anticipate the return of capital to be made in whole. That's while it's going to be a little bit more frustrating, it's possible. And Connor, doing some driving for dollars, man, look, that's going to be awesome. You get over there and you make that happen. I love it. I'm going to actually take a quick second here. I'm going to open up just real briefly for the school community. I'm going to institute the 7-day free trial just for a brief amount of time. There we go. Good. So if you're looking to kind of grow your education into real estate, I would encourage you to join the school community. Go in there, tap in, get some of the resources. I've got a classroom there where I've recorded, over the years, some of my content, just condensed it, provided it there. And it's albeit a small community, there's a community of people there that are also real estate investors that have a focus on growing their wealth. The great thing is it's a community of people that have started from literally $100, and there are people there that have started with thousands of dollars. So it's a good eclectic mix of people that are making things happen. You've got people that are landlords, people that are exclusively flippers, people that are wholesalers, and even some people in there that are great and they're developers. They are building new construction and revitalizing areas. So if that's something that you're looking into or that you have an interest in, I would encourage you, go here. There's a free trial. You get a 7-day before you end up having to pay for anything. If you don't like it, cancel it. I don't care. I mean, it's not for everybody. It's a resource for people to go to if you want to be serious about changing the wealth and the trajectory for your financial future. I've harped on it for I don't know how long. That we started in 2015. We started with $6,000. If you've known me for any amount of time, you've known that story. What a lot of people don't know is the sacrifice that goes into making that happen. Obviously, if you start out with $2 million, you have to sacrifice as much to build a portfolio. I wouldn't say so. If you're starting with $6,000 or less, then you're going to be over there. You're going to be scarring up your hands. You're going to be working on things. You're going to learn the hard way how to change toilet kits, how to turn off the water before you start disconnecting water supply lines, how to make sure that your breakers are off, and possibly even the master breaker before you go to change out a light fixture. You grab a hot wire, you know it, right? Uh, those are the behind the scenes things, the war stories that people have over the years. And man, let me tell you, it's not just me. It's some of the people that, again, in the community, hearing the things that they go through, make you feel like, you know what, I'm not in this alone. And I will say that it can be a lonely place whenever you're over here and you're working a W-2 and you're working to go into something else that nobody in your friend group has ever done. You're already isolating yourself because whenever you make these choices, you don't get to go to every Saturday get together. You don't get to go to every college game day football party, or you miss a lot of things with your friends. And those are sacrifices that you need to make peace with if you're going to go on this journey. I will tell you that over the years, we've distanced from some friends. And while that's sad, we've also made some amazing friends as well that are on the same journey, that have the same ambition, the same desire as we have. And it's amazing to put yourself in a community of people like that. You see, this past year, it was really a focus for me in our business to grow as a person, not just as a business person. And with that, it's been just profound for what it's done for us because your business grows to the extent of the person that you are. And I feel like your professional development does the same thing. Now, yes, I'm a guy sitting right here in a ball cap t-shirt, tattooed up that, yes, my country accent I might sway you against my intelligence level. You might write that off and say, hey, maybe he's fairly sharp. But I will say that over the past year, really focusing on developing my skills as a lender, as somebody that protects the investment of other people, because it's not just my money that I lend. I've been very transparent about that. I've got people that have worked with me over the years that they come to me and say, hey, Lee, what is it that you're doing? Well, I'm lending my money out on deals to people that want to flip houses or buy rentals and then refinance. So I provide them with short-term capital, and in that, I charge them a very competitive rate. And well, they pay that rate. Everybody's happy. Those people might have money sitting on the sidelines in a self-directed IRA, or they might just have it in a 401k that's not really performing, and they're not happy with that. Or maybe, and there's a couple that they just have cash sitting on the sidelines and they don't mind putting it out for 6, 12 months before cycling it back in and getting a solid return on that investment. I really focused on building myself into being that person of saying, hey, look, this is where I'm at. This is my track record. Here's the social proof of what I've done. And I will encourage you, if this is a journey that you're looking at doing, go out here and establish that for yourself as well. Start with one rental property, start with one flip. Even if that flip is a partner deal, right? Go over, find somebody and partner together to go through that, learn. And then one becomes two, becomes three, becomes 10, becomes 30. I've got a guy right now that I'm working with, and we're about to start doing some business. He's already done 20 flips this year. I think he's got 7 on the market right now. It's powerful. And over those things, did he start out doing 20 flips a year? No. Started with one, then it became two. And as he scaled, he's implemented his systems, his processes. He's grown as a person, just like I have in the lending space. And I think that's where a lot of building your team comes together. Now, also, please jump in if you've got comments. If you're watching this, please, ask your questions. Otherwise, I'm just going to ramble for about another 5 minutes, and then I'm going to call it a night. Um, so that being said, uh, we would go and work a lot with these people in expanding the network. And Connor, I don't know, you'll have to join the community to find out. I'm not just going to tell you yes or no. If you're curious enough, you can jump in and look for them yourself. I think that a lot of it really comes down to deciding for yourself. Where are you at? Where do you desire to be? And what actions are you going to take to get there? So this year has been a lot of personal development with mindset and, clearing a lot of the garbage out. The next step is going to be physical, right? To where I'm going to go and I'm going to engage a trainer and the nutrition plans, everything else. Because one thing that I've learned, why go and build businesses and do these things and have this impact and not take care of yourself, to invest in yourself, to enjoy it, right? So why go and create this life and be too sick to do anything with it? That's been a huge transition for me, be growing into that. So I'm excited to share that component. One thing that I do focus on, and anybody that knows me knows that I will not give advice on something that I don't do. That being said, I'm not going to go and tell you how to go and buy a hotel because I've never done that. I will tell you how to flip a house. I will tell you how to wholesale. I will tell you how to acquire rentals with little to no money out of pocket net, because that's what I do. I will tell you how to become a private money lender. I will tell you how to borrow private money. I can tell you how to start a fund, because those are the things that I've done. Now I'll be able to at least provide value to my community and helping them with clearing out some of the junk that we program ourselves with or that we've allowed other people to program us with. So now we're going to handle the mental aspect. The next will become the physical. And I'm excited for that journey. Again, this isn't a sales pitch for the community. If you want to join in, great. Otherwise, I still get on this stream and I provide this just to people that, hey, look, if you've got casual real estate questions, I encourage you. Join me on a stream, come to a meetup. I don't charge for those times for the conversations when I'm in these spaces. Any other time, yes, I do charge for it, just simply because it takes time away from my day, from my revenue generating activities, and from the business of my day to answer questions. So I do encourage you, please take advantage of the free content, while it's free. The other thing I'm going to tell you, if you are interested, you can go to ariawithlee.com. I've got a free copy of my book, and it goes over a lot of the base strategies of how we got started. And then also, it even tells some little fun war stories about what we've been through over the past decade as real estate investors and over some of the 700 deals that I've done. It is a wild ride. I'm telling you, it is fun. There are some days you ask yourself and you question your sanity for getting involved with it. Then whenever you look back at the person that you were whenever you started, and then the person that you were a year into the business, then 2 years, then three, and then 10, man, it's a game changer. It really is, because hopefully, whenever you start out on this journey, you're going to go forward, you're going to be successful. And 5 years in, you're going to look back and realize that you have the things that you couldn't even imagine at that point. We were talking to our friends today as we were visiting, and they spoke about going to this neighborhood. And Connor, you do it as well. They would go into Port Royal, which is the high end area down here in Naples, Florida. And they just ride and they look and they goal set. And the funny thing is, 10 years ago, actually closer to 11, because we were doing it before real estate, my wife and I on Saturdays, we would take the top off the Jeep whenever the weather's nice. We'd get a Sonic drink, and then we would ride down to Cross Lake in Shreveport, Louisiana. There were these little areas in there, little pockets of homes, and some of them were just amazing homes. Couldn't even imagine, like actually living there, because we were in our 1,600 square foot, two bed, two bath house that we had bought for $117,000. And we would go and we'd ride, we'd talk, and we'd be like, it'd be so nice to, do you see this view? Oh, great. 2 years into real estate. We bought a house over there on Cross Lake. It was beautiful townhouse, still 1,600 square feet, two bed, two bath. Uh, but it overlooked the water, and I mean, had some of the most beautiful sunsets that we had ever had because we set the goals. Right? We went over there. We set a vision and said, "This is what we desire," and we put intention on it. And next thing you know, opportunities came that allowed us to go over there and partake. Well, then we started goal setting for a boat. Lo and behold, we found a steal of a boat in Alexandria. So we drove 2 hours, went and got that boat. I don't know how we did it. We pulled that, I think it was a 18-foot pontoon boat with a Jeep Wrangler Sport. We got it all the way back up. We got it launched in the water. And that little boat got us by for a few years. And then we got another boat. Then we got another house. And it's all because you go in there, you put in the work, right? So if you have the goal of, improving your financial situation and you don't know how you're going to do it, that doesn't matter. The fact is that you goal set and you are open to opportunities. It might be real estate, it might be an Etsy store. Nobody knows unless you start pursuing your passion and doing something about it. So I'm not going to continue droning on with that. Nicole, thank you. I'm glad that you are enjoying that. Thanks for letting me know. And have I ever been involved with a real estate REITs? I will say no, I have not. Mainly, a lot of the times, and this is probably a limiting belief that I have, and it was probably a control thing for me. For me to give a REIT $100,000 at 10% return, that's great, right? When I can take $100,000 and I can buy rental properties and I can add the value and I can generate that income. And whenever I say generate the income, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to take $100,000. I'm going to pick up a couple properties. I'm going to add the value. I'm going to remodel those properties. And then I'm going to go to the bank and say, hey, look, I've bought this for $50,000. I've put 25,000 into it. It is worth $150,000. You would give me $120,000. Just give me my 75. Great. Now I get my $75,000 back. Now I'm back at zero money invested. And now I'm cash flowing money every month. And I've got an asset that over time will appreciate. I like that. And my tenants get to pay the rent down. What's my ROI on that? If I'm making even $200 a month every month on that, right? On that $0 investment. Well, the infinite return kind of gets its name. So that's why I've never involved myself with a REIT because for the capital stack that I'm operating with, it was easier for me to take that and do something with it, albeit not passive. I was pretty active in growing that. It allowed me to grow my portfolio of properties with limited pools of capital. Now, as far as going into a REIT, I truly enjoy my private money lending because of the fact of how I'm able to create the wealth for not only my family, not only the investors that are borrowing money from me, but also the people that send me the money to deploy on their behalf. It's truly that win-win-win situation. And that's why I enjoy that component. Am I opposed to being in a REIT? No, not opposed to it. However, it would have to be substantial returns, not a standard, you know, simple return that I can just get for myself easily. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's kind of my stance on REITs. I don't have anything against them. It's just not my bag. Everybody's got their own investment strategy. All right. So with that being said, if you have any other questions, please, I encourage you take a quick moment. I'm just going to stay here, and if not, I'm going to start winding it down and enjoying the remainder of my my Labor Day. And I hope that you do too. All right. So again, if you are interested, I'm going to put this back up. You can go to school.com/elite investors. I do have the free 7-day trial active right now. I'll probably turn it off here in a couple days, and I'll turn it on when I turn it back on. So if it's something that you're interested in, go there, check it out. I'll even drop the actual link into the comments. Go there, check it out, take the free trial, consume some resources, get a free copy of the book. You don't have to spend the money. Get in, get out, cancel it. It's not going to bother me. Do something that will, well, do something for yourself that the future you will be thankful for. And if it's real estate, then great. I welcome you along this journey. There's plenty for everybody. And if it's not, I just challenge you to go find what that is for you. So, anyway, everybody, you all have a great night. Have a fantastic week. And I'll talk to you all soon.